Good morning, children. Welcome back to the social session where we were learning about democracy and evolving idea. We have learnt about the inclusive politics in the previous classes, and democracy requires equality, democracy requires free and fair elections. Today we learn democracy also requires respect of law and respect for law and minority opinion. While democracy implies a popular elected government. A popular elected government in the sense a majority people opinion will be forming the government. It does not mean rule of popular leaders who do what their supporters want them to do. Yesterday we have seen the issue of America. In America, what happened was, after the elections, the supporters of Trump wanted him to continue, even the election result was against to him, and Joe Biden was elected as a new president of America. The Congress has accepted the election of Joe Biden as a president of next president of America, but there was a lot of violence that has prevailed in the capital city of America, which was against to the democracy. So it doesn't mean that the supporters, whatever they want, the leader will do the same. So all democratic governments need to abide by the law. That is what not done yesterday in America. Even though it is one of the biggest democratic country in the world, but the government did not abide by the law there and allow independent functioning of the judiciary, and the executive officers as laid down in the law they have to perform, or they have to execute the law. Democracies also need to safeguard the interest of those who hold opinion contrary to the majority people. That means, if majority people view or their opinion is being valued by the government, at the same time the minorities interest and minorities opinion also should be protected and safeguarded by the government. That is also the duty of the government in a democratic setup. So their right to hold those views, propagate them, and persuade people to accept them have to be respected, even if the majority does not agree with them. So the biggest challenge before democracy is to deal with people who hold opinions against to the majority. So those who think that democracy has to be replaced by some kind of dictatorship, and those who believe that power should be concentrated only with a particular class of race, they should be allowed to propagate their views. And here we need to understand that government should protect the interests of the minorities as well as the interests of the majorities. So both these aspects give us another feature of democracy. A democratic government rules within the limits set by the constitutional law and citizens' rights. So within these limits only the government can function, not beyond that. You cannot take away the rights of the citizens. You cannot go beyond the constitution and function it. So within this you need to respect the opinions of the minority people. You need to safeguard their interests even. And if you look at democracy, which is a majoritarianism versus inclusiveness, often democracy is taken to mean it is a rule of the majority. Of course, democracy functions with the rule of majority. In any country, there will be people of diverse views and diverse cultures. You take any country, even in India we have diverse views are there, diverse cultures are also there. So differences of opinion are bound to arise, isn't it? Everybody will not own their own same view about a particular issue. They may have different opinion on a particular issue. So what is a democratic way to settle such differences was, we often use a method of deciding with the majority. That is, if voting is done, the viewpoint that gets maximum support, majoritarianism बोले तो अगर वोटिंग करे तो जिसको ज़्यादा वोट्स, ओके, मेजॉरिटी वोट्स आती है, मैक्सिमम सपोर्ट मिलती है, दैट विल बी प्रिवेल्ड. While this is useful in many simple situations, but it can be diverse in complex in some situations, which involves whole communities or classes of people. And a simple majoritarian approach may lead to alienation of minority communities, and we shall understand these alienation of minority groups in some countries like Belgium and Sri Lanka. In such a situation, it may be more useful to take an inclusive approach. That means involving the minorities also in the running of the government is required, which accommodates the need of the majority and the minority people. We shall understand this majoritarianism versus inclusiveness with two examples. One is the example of Belgium and the other is the example of Sri Lanka from the next class. Belgium and Sri Lanka example. Thank you, children.